They say a lighthouse is meant to guide you home, to warn you away from the rocks, to be the last friendly eye in the darkness. But what if the light isn't friendly? What if it isn't even looking for ships? What if it's looking for you? The job was simple, isolated, well paid. Exactly what I needed after my wife left and took the dog. Rona Lighthouse, west coast of Scotland, a granite tooth sticking out of the Atlantic, 30 miles from the nearest town. The posting was for a relief keeper, 6 weeks alone, maintaining the lamp, logging the weather, eating tin beans, and listening to the radio crackle about nothing. The outgoing keeper, a man named Hendricks, shook my hand at the dock. He looked like he hadn't slept in a decade. "You'll hear things," he said. "The tower talks. Old stone. Wind. Don't listen too hard." I laughed. He didn't. The boat left. The engine faded. And then it was just me. 200 feet of spiral staircase, and a light that had been spinning for 140 years. First night was fine. Textbook. I checked the lens, Fresnel, massive, like a crystal beehive. I wound the mechanism. I logged the sunset at 8:42 p.m. I ate my beans. Then I went to sleep in the keeper's cottage at the base of the tower. At 2:17 a.m., I woke up. Not slowly, not from a dream. Violently, like someone had slapped my brain awake. The room was dark, but the window, the small, salt-crusted window facing the sea, was glowing. Not moonlight, not a ship's mast, a pulse, slow, deep, orange gold, the same color as the lighthouse beam. But the lighthouse was behind me. I crawled to the window, looked out. There on the water, about a mile offshore, was a second light, identical. Same rhythm, same brightness, same slow spin. I checked the logbook the next morning. Every keeper for the last 10 years had noted it. Same date, same time, same word scrawled in the margin. Do not acknowledge it. I tried to ignore it. For 4 nights, I stayed in the cottage with the curtains drawn. I wore earplugs. I sang songs off-key to drown out the hum. But on the 5th night, I made a mistake. I looked at it. Really looked. The second light wasn't a reflection. It wasn't a boat. It was inside the water. Like someone had built a lighthouse at the bottom of the sea and turned it on. And when I stared at it, when I let my eyes focus on that slow, hungry pulse, I saw something in the light. A shape, a figure, a man standing on the water facing me. His arms were open. His mouth was open. And his eyes were the same orange gold as the beam. He was screaming, but the scream wasn't sound. It was memory. I saw him fall. A keeper, 100 years ago, drunk on duty. He'd gone up the spiral stairs to trim the wick, slipped, tumbled down the center shaft, 200 feet of open air, and landed at the bottom. Not dead. Not right away. He'd lain there, broken, watching the light spin above him for 3 days. No one came. No one heard. And when he finally died, he took something with him. His turn. He never made the relief boat, so he became the relief, the other light, the one that waits. I stopped sleeping. Every night at 2:17 a.m., the glow would bleed through the curtains. Every night. I'd hear footsteps on the spiral stairs. Tap, tap, tap. Not human. Heavier, like wet stone. On the 10th night, I went up the tower to check the lamp. The footsteps had stopped. The cottage was quiet. I thought maybe it was over. The lantern room was empty. The Fresnel lens spun, clean and bright. I made my log entry. All normal. Then I looked down the central shaft. The open drop. 200 feet of nothing. At the bottom on the stone floor was a wet footprint. Not mine. Too large. And it was glowing. I ran down the stairs. 327 steps. I counted. Because counting kept me from screaming. When I reached the bottom, the footprint was gone, but the cottage door was open, and on the kitchen table, where my logbook sat, was a new entry, in handwriting I didn't recognize, old, shaky, ink that looked like tar. Your turn now. And the next morning, I radioed for relief. The Coast Guard said a boat would come in 3 days. 3 days. That night, I barricaded myself in the lantern room. Highest point, most light. Surely, nothing could get me there. At 2:17 a.m., the second light appeared. Closer this time, half a mile. And the figure on the water wasn't standing anymore. He was walking across the waves, toward the rocks, toward the tower. I heard the spiral stairs creak. One step, then another, then a pause, then 3 more. He was climbing. I looked through the lens, at the beam, at the light that was supposed to protect sailors from death. And I understood something Hendricks must have understood. The lighthouse doesn't keep the darkness out. It attracts it. The beam is a promise, a beacon for the lost. And the dead are the most lost of all. The stairs stopped creaking. The door to the lantern room, iron bolted from the inside, began to warm. Not from the lamp, from the other side. A hand, pressing against the metal, leaving a print that glowed orange gold. I heard a whisper, not through the door, inside my head. You watched. You looked. Now you keep. That's the rule. I did the only thing I could. I climbed onto the outside gallery, the narrow walkway around the lantern. Wind screaming, waves crashing on the rocks below. I held onto the rail and I waited for dawn. But the hand didn't stop. The door opened. Not broken, not forced. Open because it wanted to. The figure stepped out. He was wearing an old keeper's uniform. Oilskins, a cap. His face was gray and wet and split in places where bone showed through. But his eyes, those terrible, beautiful, hungry eyes, were the light itself, rotating, slow, pulling me toward him. You'll never leave, he said. No one leaves. The light needs a keeper. And the keeper needs a turn. He reached for me. I let go of the rail. I didn't fall. Something caught me. Something cold and strong and patient. It pulled me back onto the gallery, back into the lantern room, back down the spiral stairs, back into the cottage. And when I woke up, it was morning. The boat was at the dock. The relief keeper was knocking on the door. I left. I didn't pack. I didn't sign out. I ran onto that boat and I didn't look back. But here's the thing I can't explain. The thing I've been trying to forget for 8 years. When the boat pulled away, the relief keeper waved from the cottage door. He smiled, and his eyes were orange gold, and behind him in the window of the cottage I saw the first keeper, the one who fell, standing, watching, smiling. He wasn't trapped anymore. He'd found his replacement. I checked my eyes in the mirror every morning. Still blue, still mine. But last week at 2:17 a.m., I woke up. My bedroom window was glowing, and on the glass, written in condensation, were 4 words. Relief boat came early. It wasn't my handwriting. Now I sleep with the curtains open, so I can see it coming. If you ever get offered a lighthouse job, take the town job. Sleep with the lights off, and whatever you do, don't look at the water at 2:17 a.m. He's still watching. He's always watching.